For life.
Yeah. Bullet cast. What's going on? Stacy. This elite podcast in here. Ain't nobody better. Look. Yeah. Listen to us every time we live in the side. When you turn it on, it's just defining.
Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Know the name, you know the voice, you know exactly why I'm here. Just in case if you don't, I am a 27-year-old piece of gold. I'm beside of the microphone of the greatest sports recreational podcaster in the world today. I'm the best. There's nobody better. You already know. I am joined by the current podcast predictions champion, Mr. Brandon Tanguma, and of course, the agent of chaos is Katie Scarlett. What's going on, guys?
Hey.
What it do,
There you go,
baby?
What it do, baby?
Okay.
What
Shout
it
out
do,
Kawhi Leonard.
baby? That's how we gotta do it around here. How you guys been, man?
Doing all right. Excited for this week's round of local wrestling. Woo.
Yes. We're gonna talk about some wrestling at the end of or local wrestling at the end of the show. Heard West Coast Pro had a great show this past Friday, so shout out to Scott and everybody over there at the coast. I know they're doing some big things, but yeah, there's a lot to talk about. News broke at the end of last week's podcast that we pretty much got into, and we're just gonna continue it on here. So Vince McMahon was back within the company, and Brian read Vince's statement about his return upon the company, and since
Read an entire Fightful article
and Vince's statement upon his return, and then more things developed where Vince McMahon is the executive chairman of the board. Stephanie McMahon has resigned, and Nick Khan is the sole CEO. And apparently WWE is about to be sold. Rumors were going wild last night that Saudi Arabia was going to purchase World Wrestling Entertainment, and that's the wrestling Twitter into a frenzy. And now Vince McMahon is being sued by one of the shareholders. So a lot is going. A lot.
Just a little bit. The biggest story of 2022 now is leaked into 2023.
Yes. So
Yes,
we'll get Katie's thoughts on all of this since you left us early last week. Thoughts on Vince back? He's the executive or chairman of the board again, and WWE might potentially be sold. What are your thoughts on all of this?
So my big thing is that with him as executive chairman, as long as Triple H is still chief creative,
That
then
was agreed on. Triple H will still remain the head of creative content.
fantastic because he's making great moves, and I feel like he has definitely brought something new to the game, and I think that WWE is better for it. Vince as executive chairman, let's be real, he's like Ric Flair. Vince McMahon is never going to retire. He's got a passion for it. He loves WWE. He loves the company that he has basically spearheaded for years. He's never going to retire. And he's great with numbers. He's done a lot for WWE, so it makes sense for him to be executive chairman again. However, he should stay on the business side and not on creative.
You said Triple H brought something new to the game. I see what you did there.
Hey.
Brandon, what are your thoughts on all this? Vinnie Mac coming back. Vinnie Mac is back.
Yep, he's back. I did Under the Radar, and then of course, as soon as I hit upload, then the news comes out that Stephanie McMahon's resigning. And so TLDR and just Vince coming back is like kind of similar to Katie. At face value, it seems as though it's just a business move for him to come back and be, in charge of the business dealings of a possible sale or new media rights that are expiring at the end of the year. But if you know Vince, he's an egotistical maniac, and he basically was throwing a temper tantrum that he has all the voting rights, and he's like, oh well, you guys can't do anything without my voting, so I'm just going to say no unless I'm in charge of this. And we're kind of seeing that right now. And with Stephanie,
For fact, we don't have confirmation that that's what's been going on.
That what has not been going on.
That he said, I own this stuff and y'all can't do nothing unless I'm here. We don't have confirmation of that. We don't. We don't.
It's a strong
Guys,
inclining.
Look, this man did this for 40 plus years, the majority of his life. He sat at home for 6 months. He was bored. Yeah, he came back. So Vince has been sitting at home stewing like, how do I get back to the thing that I love? What's a way I can get back into the fold?
I'm telling you, he's never retiring. He will retire when he dies.
I think he's retired from creative, we'll say.
Sure.
No, he's not.
From
I doubt.
I think he's retired in some aspects. Sure.
I think there's a reason why we haven't seen full-fledged change from Triple H's side. Like, yes, there's been some good stuff, and we see some little inklings here and there, little sprinkles of Triple H, but we haven't seen a complete overhaul. And I think this is the reason why. It's because they always knew Vince could and probably will come back. And so Stephanie and Triple H, who are a unit, but also have to deal with that family, didn't want to piss off Vince. And, this whole thing blows up. But right now it's looking like it's blowing up.
Things have happened. Business has picked up, as Jim Ross would say. Yes, Stephanie McMahon has resigned from World Wrestling Entertainment. Brandon, can you read that statement real fast?
I can read the statement. She put up a statement and then she deleted it. And then she put up, I don't know if it was the same statement or a different statement, but I get to say my favorite couple of words here with the business speak. Dear WWE Universe, about 8 months ago, I took a leave of absence within a few weeks, unexpectedly had the opportunity of a lifetime. I had the privilege to return as the co-CEO and chairwoman of the board of WWE. I cannot put into words how proud I am to have led what I consider the greatest company in the world, working alongside a remarkable leadership team and one of the strongest executives I have known in my co-CEO, Nick Khan. Shout out. Our founder, Vince McMahon, is returning as executive chair and is leading an exciting process regarding strategic alternatives. And with Nick's leadership and Paul Triple H as chief content officer, I am confident WWE is a perfect place to continue to provide unparalleled creative content and drive maximum value for shareholders. WWE is in such a strong position that I have decided to return to my leave of absence, and not only that, take one step further with my official resignation. I look forward to cheering WWE from the sideline on the other side of the business where I started as a little girl, as a pure fan. I always remain dedicated to WWE. I truly love our company, our employees, our superstars, capital S superstars, trademark, and our fans. And I am grateful to all of our partners. Thank you for everything. Then, now, forever, together. Steph. I think I just died a little bit inside saying all those WWE buzzwords.
That was beautiful. That was beautiful. I mean, we have Bullockcast buzzwords, so it's okay. It's all right. I will read Vince McMahon's statement upon Stephanie's resignation. Should I do the voice?
Sure.
I'm not gonna do that.
We know you're gonna do the voice anyway, so just do it.
I'm not gonna do it.
Just do the voice.
Stop. If I'd taken my meds, I might have done that. Oh, we'll see. First, I'd like to express my full support of Stephanie's personal decision. I'll forever be grateful that she offered to step in during my absence, and I'm truly proud of the job she did co-leading WWE. Stephanie has always been the ultimate ambassador for our company, and her decades of contributions have left an immeasurable impact on our brand. I'm proud to announce that Nick Khan will serve as WWE CEO. Nick's business acumen and mastery of the media industry have helped catapult our business to record revenue and profitability. Together, we look forward to working with the board at its critical moment in time to review our strategic alternatives and maximize value for all WWE shareholders. That shareholders thing's going to come into play in a little bit. So, thoughts on Stephanie once again taking a leave of absence, and this appears that it might be a permanent one.
Did you not listen to me when I read the statement? She is not only taking a leave of absence, she is resigning. She's not with the company anymore. Yeah. She gone.
Well, she's no longer with the WWE at the moment. People are like, oh, she'll be back in 6 months and all this other. But look, Stephanie McMahon. I mean, we don't truly know like the business workings within like the corporate structure. So, but I'm sure she was doing a fantastic job. I mean, she's learned every aspect of this business, from the corporate world to being an on-screen character. Look, Stephanie McMahon, I'll keep it with the jargon, I guess you will. Thank you for all your years of service. Wish you the best of luck in all your future endeavors. You know, but Katie, what are your thoughts on the billion-dollar princess leaving the company?
I liked that we had more female representation in the executive staff, especially the very front-facing staff. So, having a co-CEO who's a woman is very important, at least in my personal 2 cents as someone who does work in, corporate business industry. So to see her step down definitely made me kind of sad, because I was like, oh, okay, so now men are all running the company again. All right, whatever. However, if this statement was not fabricated as a way to just placate the shareholders and really was Stephanie speaking from the heart and saying that, she feels that WWE is in good hands and that it's okay for her to step away, more power to her, because she deserves a break just like anyone else would.
Absolutely. Let her go home and be a mom.
Yeah. I mean, that's a tough job. Being a mom is a tough job. I wouldn't know personally. I don't have children, but you see women doing it every day, and I don't know about you, but I'm absolutely in awe of the things that they do for their children. With that said, being a CEO, even a co-CEO, is ridiculously hard work. And the fact that she was able to do it and did a great job as being a co-CEO, fantastic.
I mean, why watch HBO Succession when you got real life Succession playing out right here with WWE? I mean, you got the 77-year-old dad who gets left with sexual assault allegations. So then the daughter comes in and the son-in-law comes in to, save the day. And then, crazy old man comes back. It's like, oh no, I'm taking back all my power. And then 5 days later, 6 days later, just the Stephanie steps down. Don't think that's a coincidence, because if you remember, as she said in the statement, she was taking a leave of absence. And also at that time, Triple H seemingly didn't hold that much power. He was kind of on the outs with NXT. He had his health scare, so he just kind of stepped aside. And now Vince comes back. Nick Khan is the CEO, and I would assume maybe some of his other cronies are going to come back. Stephanie, like Katie said, she's going to put forth a good corporate statement that's going to be positive and blah, blah, blah. I'm pretty sure there's more to the story than meets the eye, but they're not going to say that because that's going to tank the company and stock and morale. And morale's already down apparently. But even though Stephanie might not be everyone's favorite on-screen character, behind the scenes, she seemed like she was like super nice and everyone really liked her. And she, was a good, not only just a corporate person, just a good person just behind the scenes. And like Katie said, having a woman in power over there, especially with a lot of the female wrestlers, and Vince McMahon coming off of sexual assaults allegations, and he never really had the best of intentions, I think, sometimes with the women's division. And now he's coming back, and possibly Saudi Arabia getting their grubby little hands on this company. It's a lot of stuff is going down. I mean, when Brian broke the news of Vince stepping back, all I could say was like, "Oh, it's going to get ugly," and it's getting ugly.
We'll talk about Saudi Arabia in a second, guys. If you don't know,
more breaking news.
The Vince stuff is going to be the majority of this show. This whole thing is going to be the majority of this show, so buckle up. No, so I mean, last week when Vince was officially reinstated to the board of directors, Joe Ellen Lyons Dillon, Jeffrey Speed, and Alan Wexler were removed from the WWE board of directors. Vince McMahon, George Barrios, and Michelle Wilson would come to fill their vacancies based on the removals. That was news was broken by the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. So now let's talk about the sale. rumors went around yesterday that WWE had been sold and it would go back to being private. And we talked about that a little bit in the chat. And I'm like, well, that's a whole bunch of money lost with all, being a publicly traded company and all the shareholders and whatnot. And then like an hour later, the rumors had gone around that the deal was done in Saudi Arabia had bought WWE, and people had their fun with that. They made intros for Raw and SmackDown with Saudi Arabian music, and they did a whole bunch of stuff, and they were like, oh, Vince better learn Arabic and all this other. But before we get into any more details, when you heard that news, what were your thoughts?
No lie, I freaked out because we all know that when it comes to Saudi Arabia, there are very different rules and regulations when it comes to women.
Not only that, they have a certain...
LGBTQ and countries they don't like, and,
yeah,
and Americans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and
not only that, but they want Yokozuna to win the WWE title in 2023.
And Ultimate Warrior.
So anyway, my big thing that really made me concerned was like, oh, well, if this deal has actually gone through, maybe Stephanie McMahon stepped down because they told her they didn't want a woman running the company, which then made me go, oh my gosh, I'm freaking out because now I may not be able to watch WWE anymore, specifically on like principle. Because as a woman, why would I watch a company that does not allow women to express themselves fully and probably would do a lot less with the women's division? So I was like, God, am I going to be an AEW girl for the rest of my life now?
Don't do that to yourself.
Yeah.
Please don't do that to yourself.
I'm not.
Brandon, what was going through your head?
So, but before the news like officially broke, I put in the chat that like everyone was doing like their vague tweets, like, "Oh my gosh, something big's gonna come." And this was right after the Stephanie news broke, so I was like, "Oh, it looks like something else is coming down the pipeline." And then the rumors of the Saudi Arabia deal, which never came from like the very tippity top of the news people. So I, obviously I'll indulge and I'll make my jokes and I'll, think about it, but nothing surprises me with this company, especially with Vince McMahon at the helm. Signing with Saudi Arabia is not shocking whatsoever. It sucks because we're seeing Saudi Arabia and, that type of money kind of seep into like, especially the sports world, like Live Golf and the World Cup that just concluded. So it wasn't shocking, but definitely it was like, what the hell are you doing? Like similar to Katie, like Stephanie McMahon stepping down. Was that a coincidence or was it not? The women, Sami Zayn, who is possibly on course to be the champion at the end of WrestleMania. Like he can't wrestle at Saudi Arabia, and yet they're going to have like a lot of things were running through my mind. Luckily, all that news has kind of died down in the past 24 hours. So, but it definitely was a wild, few hours there late at night, and a lot of non-wrestling people were jumping in and, making their jokes and everything of that nature. But and I do genuinely want to know where this news came from. Like, was this possibly like a source leaking it just to see like how bad the reaction would be? And then maybe they were like, okay, maybe we shouldn't do this. Cause I mean, I know we're going to clown on wrestling media and everything like that, but yeah. I genuinely would like to know where that came from. Cause I would hope no one's just going to say that something that big without any type of sourcing or any type of information.
Yeah. I'm not sure. And then, the rumor was going around that the Saudi deal was done and whatnot. Not like done as in they sold to Saudi, but like the deal to go over there and do shows. Apparently that was a rumor last night as well, that the Saudi deal was done. And I'm thinking that deal is supposed to go until like 2027 or 2029. How much does that cost WWE to pull out of that deal?
Yeah, that's a lot of money lost.
Starting to think, because they make $50 million before they even go over there, a show, and they go over there twice, 3 times a year,
twice a year usually.
So you have to think about that. But that's been put to rest, and now it's gone on after this morning and in the afternoon. WWE has not sold yet, but it's being carefully talked about. Saudi Arabia has not been involved in any dealings to purchase World Wrestling Entertainment, and they are not the front runner, apparently. So then that people are like, oh well, Disney is an option. I mean, given WWE's deal with Fox, and Fox paid $1 billion for SmackDown, and Fox is owned by Disney and all that other stuff. What are your thoughts? What if Disney did buy WWE? People have been made the point you'll get wrestling themed things at Disneyland and Disney World. You could possibly even get a physical Hall of Fame at said amusement parks. What are your thoughts, Katie? What are your thoughts?
I wouldn't be opposed to it. It does make me wonder if that is actually the case, what it means for WWE going into more of a mature era instead of just PG.
It's possible, Brandon.
I mean, I think Disney makes a lot of sense just because they have all the channels. They have, not only they have ABC, ESPN, FX. They have a bunch of different channels that you can put all the WWE content on.
Yes.
But you have, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus. They have like a full infrastructure that I think WWE would work well. Like if the Saudi Arabia deal was a thing, I don't know, besides just the straight up money aspect of it, of Vince and whoever else going to get a crap ton of money, I don't know what WWE looks like after that, because then a Fox and NBC, are they going to be like, okay, we don't want to touch this? Fox possibly would be okay with Saudi Arabia, because I know like the Live Golf Tour, I don't know exactly how their TV rights deals work, but that's Saudi Arabia backed, and there's controversy with all that stuff. So I don't know, but it's the easy one seems like NBC Universal, Comcast, because they already have, they have Peacock, they have the WWE Network on there already. So it just seems like a seamless transition. But I think Disney does seem like a great idea. I mean, in the next 50 years, we're all just going to be owned by Amazon, Disney, and Apple anyway. So who cares?
Oh, not
Pretty
us.
much.
Oh, not us.
Well, hopefully we can sign a deal with one of those three and, turn in the bag.
Yeah, I mean, it would be great.
Just as long as we don't get Mickey Mouse winning the WWE Championship, I'm cool.
Whew, that'd be
I have my own problems with Disney. But moving on from that, Vince McMahon has been sued by one of the board of directors, or the shareholders. Delaware's Chancery Court, the lawsuit has been filed because of Vince McMahon's 81% shares of the Class B stock that he has and whatnot. So, Brandon, do you have any information on that? Do you have that pulled up at all?
No, because you didn't tell me this beforehand.
Well, I mean, you see it's on the script. I mean, I thought you would have sense enough to pull it up.
I mean, why would I have to pull it up? I can just BS and be like, you know what, Phillip, I'm not exactly a stock person. I don't know how this stuff works. I mean, realistically, any three of us could be stockholders, and we could make a claim and be like, hey, this crazy old man's taking up all this stock and he's taking the company hostage. So I don't know how easy or how hard this is to actually do.
But can we get some actual information about what's going on with the Delaware Chancery Court's lawsuit? Can we get some of that, please?
We could. But do you really want to?
I kind of do,
A WWE shareholder has followed a lawsuit against Vince McMahon. Bloomberg Law is reporting that shareholders sued Vince McMahon and accuses McMahon of using his voting control to remove board members and replace them with members that are loyal to him. The report indicates that shareholders are also accusing McMahon of changing company bylaws to impose his will on the company. McMahon and WWE did not issue a comment on the lawsuit. And this is just kind of recapping everything that's happened. So basically what you said. So there you go. That I really added to that conversation.
Look, I mean, he has people that are loyal to him. That's why you guys are here. You guys are loyal to me. I could have gotten
wrestling.
I mean, I could have gotten, other people that...
He almost said better people.
Well, no, I didn't say that.
I heard that. I heard the B almost come out.
There could be other people with more precise takes and more in-depth takes about the world of sports entertainment.
I've been told that, we can't go past an hour and 30 minutes. So, I can't give my in-depth, long-winded answers, which I still do my long-winded
analysis within an hour and 5 minutes, then you haven't truly honed this craft.
I mean, apparently not listening
I'm new to this craft, so
hour and a half, 2 hour podcast, Phillip. Everything is just in little increments because your short-term goldfish millennial attention span can't hold it.
Yes, your attention spans. Yes, you.
Wait, hold on. Wait. I'm just gonna ask real quick. What year were you born?
I was talking to Phillip.
I know, but I'm also asking what were you were born?
I was born in 1994.
Shout
Okay,
out.
and what year were you born, Philip?
Oh, 96.
Yeah, you're not a millennial
Why am I not a millennial?
because millennial cutoff is 1995.
Yeah, you damn Gen Zers. Even
Oh.
worse than a millennial.
I will not be lumped in with that category.
Even worse.
I'm a Phillennial. That's what I am.
Oh, here we go. Add to the list.
I know Phillennial, Felipe Monet. I just keep coming up with him, baby. We're gonna move on. SmackDown. The Bloodline had a segment. Roman Reigns says he doesn't want to talk about this year. Wants to talk about last year. He says people are saying that I lost. I didn't lose. Sammy lost. He's the one that got pinned. And then Roman's yelling to Sammy, "Do you want to be me? Blah 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 blah. Do you want to run the island of relevancy?" KO comes out there, asks for a match. Roman says, "Yeah, whatever. I just want you gone for good." Thoughts on this segment, Katie?
Watching it, I was like, oh, this is the beginnings of the Bloodline turning on Sammy, and this is the beginnings of Sammy turning on the Bloodline. Ooh, I can't wait. Ultimately, I was really excited, and then they did the extra segment where Roman and Paul Heyman were in the room and they had Sammy come in. He's like, I want to do he's like, I can't accept your apology because I apologize. And to me, that was just like, I'm not sure about that. You're the champ. You are the tribal chief. You are the head of the table.
Yes, he is.
You don't need to apologize to anyone. So why are you apologizing?
Because Roman's a good guy.
Great.
Our tribal chief is a great man. He's one of the best men I know. Brain. Anyway. What do you thought?
The beginning, the first segment, I thought was really good. We're planting the seeds, and Roman kind of snaps at Sammy, which we haven't seen before. But I thought the second segment with them sitting down was fantastic. I just thought the tension was great. Sammy reacting, and he was super nervous. And, Paul is great. He's just in the background, kind of stealing the scene, but also adding to it a bit.
Always.
And, Roman just cool, calm, and collective, just, apologizing, but you don't know exactly how he's feeling. I thought it was phenomenal. I mean, I know it's wrestling and stuff, but I thought this is like some of the best, like just pure television, like in a while on WWE. Just that segment.
Can we also talk about how the tribal chief likes popcorn?
Oh, loves it. Have you seen the audio with without the all the other audios cut out, and it's just them eating, and Roman was smacking on that popcorn.
Oh my god, I love it. No, I haven't seen that yet.
Love it.
It's been a long day.
Hey, man, I love it. I love Roman chewing on the cone, chewing on the pops cone. You think he's an extra butter guy? I mean, he's in tip top great shape.
I think he's an extra butter guy.
He might be an organic butter guy.
Maybe.
Yeah, now that he's not wearing that vest, seeing those abs.
No. Do you guys do like the little condiment gimmicks, like little sprinkles on the popcorn? What do y'all be doing?
Yeah, we gotta know.
I usually just take it as is. Okay. If anything, I would like some extra butter. Shout out for Christmas. I got like a make your own popcorn type thing. So I got like the seasoning and the oil. So you try to make some movie theater popcorn at home. Haven't perfected it yet, but we're definitely getting there.
That's so funny. I just got a make your own popcorn thing too.
You got the pop-up silicone bowl you can put in the microwave.
Yes, that's what I got.
Bam.
Yes.
Now you got to get one.
And then you get the Flavasol, which is the thing that the movie theaters use.
Yup.
Oh my god. I don't know. Did you get the butter flavored coconut oil? Because oh my god,
I don't have the coconut oil, but I think that's what I'm gonna get next. I got like just over Renbach oil, but I think that's the next step is to improve the oil.
It's still good. Okay.
Do you guys sprinkle like the nacho cheese seasonings and like the ranch seasoning?
If anything, maybe throw some jalapenos in there.
Oh, really? I had somebody make me some popcorn with some olive oil. That was delicious.
Yeah. So I'm a big kettle corn person. I love the sweet and salty, but I also just love a good buttery popcorn.
Absolutely.
The butter, the better.
You guys ever gone to the movie theater, bought popcorn, and went home?
Yes, all the damn time. I don't want to be in a movie theater. I want to be at home watching my big screen TV.
You drive back for the refill?
No, they don't do the refill anymore. Damn COVID.
Oh, they
So
got rid of
COVID.
it?
So what I do, I have this gigantic Tupperware bowl. I mean, it's enough to throw an entire watermelon inside and still have room left over. I take that bowl with me, and I get the large popcorn and the refill, and I just throw it all in that Tupperware bowl.
I've only seen this at the Union City movie theater, but they literally have a giant like plastic bag that you can ask for and just fill that thing up with popcorn.
Usually that's at the end of the night.
Love it.
It's
Love
a
I
thing. I was
kid you
like,
not.
Jesus.
Popcorn is one of my favorite foods.
Katie, we're gonna have to share some popcorn one day.
Yes. Down for that.
Usos retained the tag titles yet again,
They did.
Dirty win.
but they the ones.
Still a dirty win.
But they the ones. Look,
I wonder how
sometimes
long
you gotta
this is
win
going to
dirty.
last.
What?
How long is this title? I mean, is it just going to be Sami Zayn
think-
and Kevin Owens? Is that
I
going to
think
be?
I think the Usos and Roman all lose them on the same. They all lose them on the same night.
It all just comes crumbling down.
Yeah.
I can see that. I think that'd be a good way to go.
And then that adds an extra layer because now they're
It would be
Distraught.
a giant. It would be a giant sinkhole on the island of relevancy.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, all right. Moving on from let's go outside of the ring. WWE is interested in signing Tama Tonga. He defeated Carl Anderson at Wrestle Kingdom to become the new Neverweight Open Neverweight Open champion.
Never open weight champion.
That's what I said. The never open weight champion of New Japan.
What does that mean?
Yeah, you see, what does that mean?
Technically, it's no weight limit, and it's basically just the beat the piss out of each other belt. Used to, that's like Ishii's. That's our boy Ishii's belt.
Okay.
It is.
I'm
Like
always down for
Ishii,
just beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
Goto,
But,
Shibata when he was there.
I mean, Tama Tonga, he's a great in-ring talent. He's so charismatic. When God had that run like 2017, 18, they were doing that thing, man. I loved him. Kate, are you familiar with Tama Tonga?
I'm not.
So, Brandon, I know you are. You're the New Japan guy.
Yep, I'm back.
What would you say to him coming to the E?
I would not be opposed. It looks like there might be a little exodus of New Japan coming over to WWE. Jay White possibly coming over, maybe to WWE or AEW. Now I wonder, with Vince coming back, what does this mean for the free agents and people with their contracts coming up? But I think Tama Tonga is talented. He has the look, he has the lineage, being the son of Haku, Ming, whatever you want to call him. Don't mess around with him because he will tear your head off. But he's definitely come into his own, like, character-wise the past few years. Like, he was more just, just kind of there, stuck in the back of the Bullet Club, not cast. But now that he's kind of left the Bullet Club and he's, with Tongaloa and doing all that type of stuff, I think he's doing well. The match he had with Carl Anderson wasn't the best, probably maybe the low light of Wrestle Kingdom, but he's like a serviceable, like, top middle guy who could possibly, have a main event every now and then.
Okay. And then our buddy Carl Fredericks has apparently signed with WWE with the NXT brand. Carl Fredericks, I mean, made a name for himself out here in the Bay Area. APW Internet Champion, went over to New Japan. What did he win out there?
And New Japan,
yeah, but he won a trophy. He won a tournament. What tournament is
would it
that?
be the Lions Cup?
I think it is, yeah. I didn't want to say Young Lions Cup because that's something that happens out here in NorCal. But yeah, I mean, Carl Fredericks did that one on his little excursion. He's popped up over here in the Bay Area a few times.
Young Lions Cup.
No, that's in APW.
Yeah.
No, that's a New Japan thing.
So they both have a Young Lions Cup.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, yeah, he did that. He announced he was leaving New Japan, and people were just kind of seeing what he was going to do, and apparently this is it. Brandon, our boy.
Our boy, Carl Fredericks finally coming back over to the States and doing the WWE thing. I mean, I always thought with his look and his wrestling ability, he would have fit great in like kind of that black and gold era NXT, but goes over to New Japan, had some success, not exactly top tier success, but getting a fresh coat of paint in NXT. hope the best for him, and hopefully he does well.
I think the most interviewed guest we've ever had on the show. Yeah, did it again.
Traveled over to San Jose and waited in a Starbucks and did the whole thing, and
Yes, we did.
great times. Great times.
He was down to come on again when he was still signed with New Japan. Oh no, we'll see if we can work something out. Apparently, apparently Chelsea Green has been signed with WWE for quite some time. She's just waiting on creative plans. Are you a Chelsea Green guy, Brandon? Do you care?
I mean, I enjoyed her work as Laurel Van Ness in Impact.
Yeah.
She comes over to WWE the first time at NXT, and she just had some bad injury luck. But she's a good wrestler. Being with Matt Cardone, I think them being like a heel couple group was a lot of fun over in GCW. So, I mean, it's just a big thing of her staying healthy, and it's all like freak like bone injuries. So hopefully they can, she doesn't have any of those. And the women's division right now, the main roster women's division is kind of stale at the moment. And so I think adding her to the mix, fresh, doesn't have a stigma on her like Emma, unfortunately, that I think should do some good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, throw her in the Rumble as a surprise, let her work from there, put her on the SmackDown brand. I could see her being like a one-off, like month-long feud with Charlotte for the title until Charlotte gets a different kind of opponent. You see what I'm saying? Like something in that role. Yeah, it's.
But then I think that also just kind of, deems her down because like, oh, she just
diminishes her.
Diminished, yeah. She's just gonna have a month-long match or a month-long feud and then loses. Like she's Shotzi and Raquel. Well, Raquel, kind of protected. I think she'll bounce back, but like a Shotzi, Lacey Evans, like I think just kind of in that mix again.
I think Chelsea Green could be one of those people that has a feud with the champ, loses a really good match, and comes out stronger from it. I think she could be one of those people. But we'll see what they do. But put her in the Rumble as a surprise entrant and see what they can do from there. Yeah, she really has broken herself quite a few times.
Yeah, because she made her debut on NXT, got hurt. Made her debut on SmackDown, got hurt.
She broke her arm. Yeah. Hey man, I broke myself. This shit sucks. Man, I wouldn't wish this on my own worst enemy.
Phillip, how you doing post surgery?
Man, we're okay, man. We're okay. I got the good drugs. They gave me the good gas. I was knocked out. We're moving along, man. I hope to get back out to the wrestling world and see the people soon.
Well, you got your personal chauffeur right here, friend.
There we go. I love it. Shout out, Katie.
What's the recovery time, resting time?
6 to 8 weeks to be walking, at full weight on it and whatnot. I got PT that's going to be coming to my house on Friday to start the recovery process. So we'll see. We shall.
I know you guys can't see the video, but Phillip is recording live in his room via wheelchair.
Yes. Got the leg propped up. Yeah, I've been able to get around pretty nicely. When I first started using those walker,
your arms are going to be so swole, just pedaling around.
My back and my shoulders were so sore the first couple times using this, man. It was ridiculous.
So jacked.
Mandy Rose has finally broken her silence 27 days after her release from WWE on the Tamara Hall show. She was interviewed yesterday. She was in New York City. She talked about her release, and also the possibility of going back to the company. I sent the links to the YouTube clip. You guys see this?
I did.
Katie, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, I really liked how she spoke about WWE, how she kept it real. She did exactly what someone should do if they leave a company on bad terms. She kept things professional. She made it mostly about how she's feeling moving forward, and she presented a very professional air. I'm proud of her. She did a great job in the interview, and Mandy Rose is great.
Absolutely.
There you go. You didn't think you were going to get some PR teachings here on the Bulletcast.
Yeah. She wasn't like the rest of these jabrones who talk crap about the company and then go sit in catering somewhere else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Facts.
Brandon.
Yeah, Mandy Rose came across nice. She said she couldn't really get into all the details and everything, but she's not going to go out there and bury the company.
Kayfabe a little bit, yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked if she's back in the company in like 6 months or a year. So it made sense for her not to just go out there and bash them. And, on I forget what the name is, but on that type of talk show isn't going to be a place where she's just going to, do a shoot interview. I think she'd make some money doing that somewhere else. But
Now, Jerry Springer.
that's where you shoot, brother.
That's where you shoot, brother. Yeah, I'm glad Mandy's doing okay. Apparently, over $1 million made on the fan site. But I'm like, how much does she really keep? Because the site gets a portion, and she has like a team, that she has to pay and all that other stuff.
Usually the team gets paid somewhere around like 10-15%. The company, the internet site gets like 10%. It just depends.
So I don't know.
She's only making like $750K.
Yeah,
it sucks.
Still amazing.
Yeah. It was funny. Moving on from that, inside the ring, Jericho Appreciation Society showed up at Battle of Los Angeles, PWG's annual tournament. It's one of the bigger tournaments that people look forward to during the year. Obviously, there's the G1 that everybody talks about, but Battle of Los Angeles, that's the one where like the true top indie talent is crowned. Yeah. So, Kate, are you familiar with PWG?
I have not seen it personally, but I am familiar with it.
You know what?
I know just how important it is in the indie scene. So
we're gonna have to go one day. I've never been. I've always wanted to. I wish I could have gone when they were at that old facility where it was all crowded and hot and humid, and
you can buy a pitcher of warm beer and just yell at the wrestlers. Oh, those are great.
And you can smell each other's scents. Yes.
Bullet Cast Road Trip.
Yes.
But now they got corporate, and now they're in a theater or something.
They're in a theater. Yes. But yeah, Chris Jericho showed up, worked at Indy, wrestled Kevin Blackwood, who's popular around the Bay Area scene, wrestling for UGWA and West Coast Pro. So that was really cool, man. That was cool to see Jericho pop up and do something like that. I love it. And then shout out to Speedball Mike Bailey, who's been popping up here at West Coast, having killer match after killer match. He won the Battle of Los Angeles this year. Congratulations to him. Other West Coast favorites were in there, like Titus Alexander, who Titus he's soared to the top. He really has. Masha Slamovich was in there. Brian Keith. So shout out to everybody involved, man, for real.
Yeah, shout out. Seems like there's a lot of...
Absolutely.
Maybe gotta check out this one because I haven't watched a PWG show in a while. But so if you want, subscribe to them on YouTube. They will always put out like highlight packages of all their DVDs and all their shows. So
they still do the DVDs.
Get a little. Oh, I don't know if I assume they do DVDs. I don't know, but you can if you subscribe to them on YouTube, they'll always post like a little highlight package. You can kind of get a glimpse, a little taste of what they're doing.
Yeah, and then I got to give a shout out to the Samoan SWAT team, Lance Anoa'i, and my dog Big Toko Juicy Finau. They captured the MLW Tag Team Championships. Juicy brought it to the dojo the other day and took a picture with it outside of the dojo. So shout out to them. Shout out to my dog Juicy, for real, man. I'm proud of that fool. He's making a name for himself in his business. Shout out Toko.
Shout out.
Lots of love for Toko.
I know. First big title win too. So that says something. All right, moving on from that. Let's hit the fan mail real quick. We're going to try to get through a lot of this, guys. Here we go. Jesus, so much. Let's see. Alfie Lewis. Prison Dom is hilarious. A great character change for him. He's really diving into the acting chops, something like his dad had a great amount of. Absolutely, man. We're going to talk about Prison Dom. Moving on from that, Hootie Who 420.
Hootie Who.
Who you?
Judgment Day, now a vehicle to get Dominic Mysterio over to another level. And mates, I'm here for it. Also, Happy New Year. Phillip, happy belated birthday, and glad your surgery went well. Hootie Who, you're a class act, brother. Thank you so much. Also, Jack of all trades. We knew Vince was not going to be gone forever. He's been doing this for far too long. He wasn't just going to sit at home, and I'm the process. And in the process, Stephanie has now stepped away yet again. Will she make a return once more, or is she gone for good? Only time will tell. Robert Walker. I love Vince, I really do, but why couldn't he just take up something normal retired people do, like getting a part-time job at a grocery store?
Because Vince McMahon is a crazy old man.
Could you imagine going to like they're on the East Coast, right? So like
he goes to Walmart and becomes a greeter.
No.
Oh my god.
I could see Vince McMahon a greeter at Walmart. How you doing? Welcome to Walmart. I could see Vince being like a a checker at a Winn-Dixie. Those
Oh my
eggs
God.
are buy 2 cartons, get 1 free. How you doing, pal? Would you like some milk?
Oh my God. That'd
Love
be
it, love
that'd
it.
be something else.
Nigerian Prince. Hey, Lashley, I'm going to need you to hurry up and accept MVP's offer. I need to see the Hurt Business versus the Bloodline real quick.
Yes, agreed.
Yo. Yeah. Can I get Shelton versus Solo real quick? Is that possible?
Listen, you need to call MVP and just tell him that this needs to happen. And you got to call Vince and tell him this needs to happen.
Vince texted me last night. He said he was too busy, so I'm going to try again. Maybe I can get his corporate line again now. We'll see. We shall see. All right. This is a guy who hasn't hit us up in a long time. Backwoods 420.
Shout out.
Dominic Mysterio is the equivalent of that one kid you knew in high school that thought he was tough because he hung out with in air quotes, rough crowd. And then thought he was the toughest when he thought his toughness was solidified when he claims he served hard time. Like, shut up, bro. You had in-school suspension. Did you guys know anybody like that?
Yes.
Yes. Bro, you had in-school suspension. And then we got Hall of Famer X.
Mr. X.
I love that he's a Hall of Famer. It really meant a lot to him, man. I love it. He says, so what the hell is going on? Was WWE sold to Saudi Arabia or not? And how can we take any further or any future stories seriously after this? We're gonna have to wait.
I think it just depends on who you follow. Like you can't just take anybody with a blue check mark these days. It says if it doesn't come from Dave Meltzer, Sean Ross Sapp, or like WWE themselves.
Now?
Yes,
I'm sorry.
you
Sorry to cut you off.
We might have someone on this said podcast who has one. Not on this podcast, but a part of the podcast.
I was like, because I had Twitter Blue before Elon Musk bought it. It was like $2.99. I really just did it to like edit my tweets. If I didn't like the way it was worded or something like that. Back then you couldn't like get a check mark from it, and now you have to pay like $20. And if you buy, hold that up again. It says this account is verified because it's subscribed to Twitter Blue. Yeah, I guess, man. I'm still kind of old fashioned. Like I like to earn it. You know what I mean?
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know.
I will say,
like that guy.
Oh yeah, no, that guy earned it.
That guy. I will say, I do want to give major shout out to Mr. X, who was the only person to actually like message me after I posted that stuff about what happened to me the day before New Year's. He messaged to make sure that I was okay. And I'm really, really grateful for that. So thank you, Mr. X.
He's a class act. This is why he's in the Hall of Fame. He's a class act.
Very much so.
Hall of Fame video coming soon, guys. Coming soon. I'm waiting on some stuff. Also, he says, why do they have Alexa Bliss still a part of the whole Bray Wyatt thing? Can't they just bring back the goddess? Well, the Bray Wyatt thing didn't really end well, so I think with what we're going to talk about that happened on Raw, I think this is a proper ending to that story.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because the way they ended it before was just like, meh.
Yeah.
What, her coming out of a Jack in the Box with some black goo in her face wasn't good enough?
I mean, no, it was great, but there could have been more.
It was awful. Like, not only that, but that match was probably one of the worst matches I've seen in like a long
Randy Orton wrestling in his tidy whities.
Just because he had white trunks?
Yeah.
Nah, it was
white trunks are probably a no-go. We should
Why?
not wrestle in white trunks.
Why not?
Unless you're going to get them all bloody.
They had red on them.
It was so bad.
Yeah. He also says there are rumors that Jay White could show up at the Rumble as a surprise entrant this year, plus rumors that WWE are interested in Tama Tonga. If these rumors are true, does that mean that New Japan and WWE could have more of a working relationship than we thought?
Not with Vince McMahon in charge.
I don't know. We'll see.
I would say if Jay White comes into WWE, that would be fantastic. I think he's so talented. He can work anywhere. He's a little undersized, but I did kind of compare him with Seth Rollins. I think they're about the same size. So if Seth can do it, Jay White can do it.
Breathe with the switchblade. Get into the Raw recap, please.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Pronoun spell. We had Miz TV. Miz interviewed Dom, prison Dom, and he just kind of was like, you didn't go to prison, buddy. You were in like county jail for a couple hours.
For a couple hours, man. That's it. I know people personally who have served harder time than you.
See, jail is when you go there before you get convicted. Prison is when you get convicted people. There's a complete difference. In county, you just, sit there in the drunk tank for a couple hours till you sober up. Prison is, where you did some things. But I thought it was great. The prison Dom stuff continues to be phenomenal. And shout out to his look. I don't know who dressed him. I wouldn't be shocked if maybe Conan was like, here, take my wardrobe, Dom. Because he looked just like Conan, but I thought it was all great. And this led into a number one contender gauntlet match or whatever they call it, and Judgment Day are the new number one contenders for the tag team championship. So there you go. Good for them.
We see the Judgment Day become the Raw tag team champions.
Yes, sir. Then we got Uncle Howdy. He visits Alexa Bliss. We kind of talked about this already with Alexa Bliss stands up on the table and she just goes off and talks nonsense, kind of like a Bray Wyatt promo. And
well, yeah, what she basically did was she was like, listen, the old Alexa Bliss, that was nothing. I am the real face of evil. And then Howdy comes out and he's like, there's no interaction between the two that I saw. Maybe my Raw cutout. Was there any interaction between the two?
No, this is just what they do with Uncle Howdy. He'll come out and then they'll just cut to commercial, and then we're just gonna pretend like it never happened, I guess. But
I don't know.
I don't know what they're gonna do because Bray's on SmackDown, she's on Raw. We got the Royal Rumble. I don't know if they're gonna meld the two at the Royal Rumble, or she jumps ship, or maybe this is just a way to get Bray onto Raw and they can just continue to have that type of story going on all over the place. Then we had a Lashley return. Looks like he's going to come after the U.S. title, possibly. We got Austin Theory just continue to do his thing, cutting promos, and Seth comes out. They go back and forth a little bit, but Lashley comes out. Big surprise! Finally, he's back and makes his statement known. So, yeah, Lashley's back. I don't know what more there is for him to do, but we shall see. Moving on to the AEW Dynamite recap. They kicked off with Hangman and Mox. It was just a no nonsense. They got right into it. They had a match for like 15 minutes. Hangman gets the win. Not a big fan of the concussion spot or concussion feint at the end with Moxley. Hopefully, I assume that's the work. But I thought the match was fantastic. Hangman gets a win, clean win. And I think this is something that should happen more often. Just two guys go in there, have a match, no angle, bam. Hangman does his thing. Moxley does his thing afterwards.
Yeah, it was a knockout, drag out fight, and they were both bringing it 110%. Moxley ended up being escorted into the back. They were talking about big hits to the jaw, big hits to the head. So, I don't know if that's kayfabe or not, but if he is injured in any sort of way, T's and P's to him.
Then we get the big thing that everyone's talking about. We had Tony Schiavone introduce somebody, and it was Adam Cole, baby. Adam Cole comes back. He cuts a promo. He does some good news and bad news, and he talked about his injury, his concussion, talked about his process and everything like that. And you think where he's going. He's going to go the Daniel Bryan Page route and announce his retirement. But the bad news was for the rest of the AEW roster, and he fires up, and the crowd's going crazy. Just a phenomenal promo. Luckily, we haven't seen a lot of these retirement speeches in a while, and then we get a glimpse of it, and he pulls a rug out and says, "Oh, I'm not leaving." He does the whole Leo spiel. I thought it was fantastic. Nice to see Adam Cole come back with, with CM Punk gone. I think people forget Adam Cole is even with the company, and I think he's a top star that they desperately need right now.
Agreed. And honestly, what an emotional promo. I definitely was just like, hanging on his every word, listening to what he had to say about his injury, about coming back. Really glad to see Adam Cole, baby, back in the game.
We were going to have Bryan Danielson take on Takeshita, but before that match took place, we had MJF cut a promo. MJF just, going after Takeshita. They were in LA. There was some pretty big names at ringside. He goes after King John, and then he goes after Freddie Prinze Jr.
Highlight of the night. Scooby douchebag.
And MJF was just, going after everybody, and it's why people love him, but also he can get the reactions. People boo him. Freddie and whoever the girl was next to him, maybe a little bit over the top, a little campy. I thought Ken Jeong played it great, but it was just another fantastic promo from MJF. Katie, I know you're the MJF staying around here. How did you like this?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, I was sitting there watching, and I popped so many times for that freaking promo. He's a wordsmith. I love it.
Then we got to the match. Danielson finally interrupts him and runs off MJF. Him and Takeshita had just another fantastic match. Danielson gets the win. They announced or talked about Takeshita is going to stay in the States now, so he's going to be on AEW, I assume, more often. And his character is kind of bland. He's just kind of the wrestler, and we have a lot of those kind of in AEW. But when he has these long form matches, they always pay off. And it's hard to have a bad match with Danielson, and Takeshita definitely did not have one. So I'm intrigued to see what they do with Takeshita going forward. Bulletcast breakout star of the year. So glad to wonder what he can do. And this is going to be a weekly segment, just Danielson having a really good match with somebody as he prepares to wrestle MJF
at Revolution, which will be here.
Yes, sir. And then finally, main event time. We have the Elite taking on Triangolo de la Muerte in a Escalera de la Muerte match. Game 7, match 7. I like how they just were like, oh, the last time there was a game 7 at the Forum was the Lakers and Pistons in 87, 88. I don't know, whatever. But I don't know if they were running over on time, but I just felt like it was almost like the end of the All In pay-per-view with the Young Bucks and Rey Mysterio. They just crammed all the spots in. They had like a 20-minute match planned. They only had like 15. They still just ran through all their spots, did everything. Absolutely crazy, insane match. The Elite get the win. Kenny gets the titles. So kind of back to square one, I would assume. They're going to go forward with whatever their plan was going to be. But just a crazy match and what you would expect from these 6 guys.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. They did say something about, oh, we're going to go as long as it needs to go, and stay tuned. And then it just ended like 5 minutes later.
Yeah, they went over just a little bit. I was looking at the clock because I don't think they go over too often. They went 1 minute over, so that's why I kind of speculated possibly run a little bit over on time. There was the Page match, the Saraya match. No Mercedes Moné. I think they left the door open for that, but it did not happen. So I didn't hear the crowd go like turn on it, but I would assume there were a lot of people on the internet that were surprised and a little angry that Mercedes did not show up.
Mm-hmm.
Superstar Spotlight. Who do you got? Who do you got? Who do you got? Anybody that stood out in the world of wrestling this week, Katie, that you would like to give flowers for?
I mean, honestly, top of my mind is MJF because I loved that promo. But then again, he always gets flowers from me.
And I guess I'll stay on the same route to just continue to praise things we always praise. And I'm going to go with Roman, Sammy, and Paul. I just can't say enough how much I love that scene of them in the locker room and having the conversation. I thought it was just phenomenal. So, bam, that is it. That is it for the Bulletcast today. We have Oasis Pro, Big Steppa this coming Friday, Katie, right? Maybe Saturday.
That's exactly right. It'll be Friday in Vallejo. If you want something to do on Friday night, get your tickets because it's going to be an amazing show. Oasis always puts on a grand slam, and we are really excited. They also just recently announced that they have a partnership brewing with Gilman Brewing Co. In Berkeley. So their next few events will be held at Gilman. But for now, come and take a look at what they do in Vallejo because it's a great gig, and I will be there as well. So come say hi.
So there you go. Don't be a stranger. Come say hi. We had West Coast last week. We have Oasis this week. We got a bunch of wrestling coming to the Bay Area. We got New Japan coming next month. Then we got AEW in March. They just announced, New Japan did, that there's going to be IWGP heavyweight title. No word on who it's going to be, but it's either going to be Okada or Shingo that's going to defend it. So big match, big few months here in the Bay for wrestling. So if you want to participate on said podcast, Bulletcast 2 is the number 2 suite at gmail.com. SWET@gmail.com, and follow us on the Twitter and Instagram and everywhere that you can find social media at. Go give us a follow. So thank you guys very much for tuning in. Phillip had to step away, so your boy had to carry the load, and I can always carry the load. So let's go. See you guys next week. Goodbye, and goodbye, and Nathan Bay. Yeah.
The Bulletcast, fearless, elite podcasting. We on the Bulletcast now, fearless. The Bulletcast now, fearless. Elite podcasting. No, we on elite podcasting.
This has been the Bulletcast. Thank you for listening.